Bienvenidos al Mal del Puerco. Yo soy Stephanie Cantú, nutrióloga holística, y estoy muy feliz de que estés aquí conmigo. Hoy tengo un invitado súper especial. Para mí es un honor poderlo tener aquí. Él es 5 veces ganador de un concurso que se llama IFBB Pro, que es para fisicoculturistas. Él es fisicoculturista profesional y además, cuando yo le pregunto, ¿cómo quieres que yo te presente? Y me dice, como un padre, como un esposo. Me encanta la parte humana que él tiene, que por eso hoy está aquí, porque vamos a platicar de cómo tú también puedes llevar el estilo de vida que él lleva y cómo es normal tener disciplina y es normal estar sano. Además te cuento que él está muy metido en la rama de la salud, nutrición holística, la medicina funcional, y él es ex bombero. Señora, cálmese, relájese. I know you understood what I said.
I did.
So welcome, Steve Kuclo. How are you?
Great. Thank you for having me, Stephanie. I love your message. I love what you're doing. And when you asked me to be on, I was glad to be a part of this.
No, thank you so much for coming. I was saying that it's an honor that while I was asking you, how do you want to be presented? You said as a father, as a husband, and I really like that about you, that even though you have so many prizes and you won so many awards and you are a bodybuilder, you still remain humble. And this is not my first question for you, but how do you make that happen?
I have been given some really good advice, I think, along the way of life, and it's very easy for fame to get to your head, or people like, even now with social media and influencers, people think because people follow you, you're special and all that. And sure, you have a special quality, but I believe like there's just always a human component. And I was always in a service position. I serve people as a firefighter and a paramedic. I serve, I look at like being a servant to my family, being able to provide and serve them. And even like my clients now, I'm able to serve them. And I always come from I always feel like regardless of how high you get, like the same people you see coming up are the same people you see coming down. So I've always wanted to, treat people the way I want to be treated. And I always do that with respect. And it's gotten me a far in life.
I think that's huge. It's not normal to see someone with your accomplishments to be so humble, so down to earth. So thank you for sharing this. Él nos dice que él toda la vida se ha dedicado a servir, siempre le ha gustado mucho servir a la gente, que desde que él entró a esta parte de hacer ejercicio, que él siempre también estuvo conectado con la parte humana, que es lo más importante, y que al estar sirviendo a las personas, eso le ha ayudado a él a mantenerse centrado, y que lo más importante es tratar a la gente como a él le gustaría ser tratado, que es una típica regla de oro, y me encanta. So how did you started bodybuilding? How do you started getting into working out, eating healthy? Was it a one-day thing, or is it like a very subtle journey? Tell us about that.
For me, it started with athletics, growing up playing sports as a kid, and then getting in high school. And then I remember seeing the bodybuilding magazines. And like any young guy that wants to have big biceps, big arms, and you kind of do it for the vanity of like, I want to look good, pick up the girls with the big arms. But I also, being an athlete, I wanted to be better in that, like the biggest, fastest, strongest in that sport. So I loved the iron was my addiction. It's like you became. I love the feeling of it. I love the experience and the challenge of pushing yourself. And for me, it eventually turned into like what I had a passion for. So I really learned and wanted to pursue bodybuilding after, and you think, why bodybuilding? Out of all the things I could have done, I could have played hockey at a high level or football at a high level, but bodybuilding, I just love that personal challenge. It's you versus you at the end of the day. It's not a team sport. It's you versus you. And you're the one that has to eat, right? You're the one that has to show up at the gym. You're the one that has to do the work. And after you do it all, you see the reward of your physique, and you get to present it to the world. And it's different, but at the same time, it's very rewarding because you see the fruit of your hard work.
What is most rewarding, when you are going through the process or when you achieve certain goals?
I think for me, it was always going through the process. Like getting a trophy, winning is always great, but knowing that you gave it your all, because you don't have control of the other people. You don't have control what the judges think. you have control of what you do. And I felt like if I always brought my best, that was a win for me. And when I did that, it allowed me to feel like accomplished and like I won going into the show.
Ya. Él nos cuenta que él empezó en deportes jugando fútbol, jugando hockey y que él quería hacer ejercicio, comer bien para sentirse bien, para poder tener más energía, más resistencia a la hora de hacer este ejercicio y que vio las revistas de fisicoculturismo y él dijo, quiero tener estos brazos grandes, quiero poder cargar a las chicas, que también le pasó un poquito esa parte y que conforme pasó el tiempo él empezó a hacer ejercicio y que le empezó a gustar mucho y ahí es donde encontró su pasión. Él dice que encuentra demasiada satisfacción cuando él está pasando por un proceso que solo tú puedes hacer, que solo tú puedes comer por ti mismo, solo tú puedes alimentarte, nadie más va a venir a hacerlo, no es algo que compras, no es algo que la vida te lo da, es un trabajo grande y fuerte y es un sacrificio grandísimo. Y entonces yo le pregunto, ¿qué te gusta más? ¿El proceso del sacrificio o cuando llegas a ganar este premio? Y dice, el proceso del sacrificio, porque ese proceso de sacrificio es donde yo encuentro que estoy creciendo, que estoy mejorando, donde yo me estoy motivando, que a mí me parece grandioso. Steve, I always tell people that, well, I used to be overweight all my life, and we can talk about this holistic approach, but I had so many autoimmune diseases. I have. They're just, I just control them. And when I lost weight, I understood what you were saying, that nobody can do it for you. It's something you can't buy with money. No matter how much money you have, you can't buy it. No one can put the energy for you. You just have to do it yourself. And it's a very lonely process. I felt it like that. I'm sure you too. And at the end of the day, I always say, that's why I asked you, I always say it's the process itself that I love. And I like it so much that not only in health or fitness, I pursue it in my career in general. I try to be out of the comfort zone because that's where I feel like I'm growing the most. And that's what brings me satisfaction. And once you won, I've never won an award, but once I achieve the goal that I'm looking for, then I'm like, okay, well, what's next? I like to be out of that comfort zone. How do you find focus? How do you stay focused? Because it's always a sacrifice, or is it easy all the time?
No, it's always a sacrifice. And you said something that I want to just give you a little props. Like you say, you never want a reward. You have you have a beautiful family. Like that's a reward right there. Like you have an awesome husband. You got a beautiful daughter. Like that to me is like winning in life. Regardless of trophies, like you win a trophy, it's great in the moment, and then the next day it's like, okay, like what's next? Like you say, goals are great to hit, but then there's always that life's a continual journey. So you have to. For me, I've always been very goal oriented. Like, okay, I know I got to compete in 3 months or 4 months or next year I have this show, whatever. And it's good to lay things out and plan it. Planning is very important. But at the same time, like to stay motivated, that's something that, a lot of people struggle with. Like, how do you stay motivated? How do you stay motivated? And I'm a very self-motivated person, because I want a lot in life. Like I want to live my life to the fullest and be the best I can be. Like I always tell my wife that I want to be the guy that she can brag to her friends. Like my husband does this, or he's in great shape, or I never want to be the average guy. I always want to be the go above and beyond. And it's just having a little bit of excellence in yourself, like believing in yourself. A lot of people, I think, because of the world and struggle or failure, look at like, oh, if they fail once, they have a hard time getting back up and continuing. For me, I look at failure or struggle, like you say, it's out of your comfort zone, and to me, it's like it's an opportunity to grow. Like I've gone through a new season in my life, like transitioning from full-time bodybuilder and being on stage in the spotlight all the time, now into a different season of being a father full time, being a husband full time, being run my own business with my health clinic and my coaching and training business. And it's different because I don't get as much spotlight, but at the same time, it's like I do this for a different purpose, but a much higher purpose than just myself. I get to do it for my family, I get to do it for other things, and it to me it's as much reward, but just a little different. But even though it's a struggle and it's hard, it doesn't make it like I want to embrace hard things. I think the older I've gotten, I embrace these things because I know they're opportunity to grow.
Él dice que el propósito más grande debe ser tu familia, el no ganar un regalo o un premio, sino el tener una familia, el poder tener un propósito mayor, trabajar para hacer cosas más grandes que solamente una competencia, que sí está padre tener metas a 3 meses, 5 meses, pero que nunca te olvides de que lo más importante como ser humano es tener esas metas, ahora sí que digamos espirituales, humanas. Y yo le cuento que cuando yo perdí peso, para mí eso era lo más importante, lo que les decía hace ratito, el estar en el proceso sola y aguantar y motivarme. Y yo le pregunto, ¿cómo te motivas tú? Hoy en día lo motiva su familia, pero él dice que siempre ha tenido esa mentalidad de excelencia, de estar pensando en qué quiero lograr ahora, cómo quiero ser mejor. Habla de su esposa y dice, yo quiero que mi esposa diga, ah, mi esposo es el mejor, es el más musculoso, es muy exitoso. Entonces, que él se enfoca en trabajar en su clínica, en su práctica de coaching, en mejorar él como persona, tiene muchas cosas en su plato, pero en su mente tiene que creer que eres capaz, creer en ti mismo y que puedes lograrlo, que eso me parece excelente. How do you, or why did you get into functional medicine, holistic nutrition? Was that always in the back of your head? Did you always practice it? How do you get into that?
Well, I seen with myself the importance of nutrition. Like I kind of a saying I've always said, and it's popular now. Like you can't out train a bad diet. Like as much as you go to the gym, if you still eat like crap, you're not going to achieve the results you want. Like even you can't out train it. So the importance of nutrition, that's at least 70, 80% of what your goals are going to be obtained by what you ultimately eat. You fuel your body, with what you eat. So important. And then understanding how foods have changed over the last few decades, the way they're processed, more and more processed, more and more chemicals, more and more people are having issues in illness and sickness, and it's just becoming a true it's a like a pandemic of disease in the world because of the way food is made. So part of me is like I wanted to learn and educate myself in understanding how is the best way that now I've tried to live for performance and the way I look, but how do I be able to live the longest, healthiest, best life? And I wanted to learn. It's a little different than what bodybuilding nutrition is. So it's like understanding the value of eating, more organically, the right, with fruits and vegetables and the right amount of proteins and the right amount of fats and the right kinds of foods, and especially what's specific to what you need. So what's cool about understanding functional and holistic medicine and is there's the testing component where you could test for what kind of foods do you have sensitivities to and which foods you should avoid, or what genetically with your genes you can do gene testing. So with your genes, are you more prone to inflammation? Are you more prone to say higher blood pressure or heart disease? So as to avoid certain types of foods. So it's understanding the role of nutrition is so important. So for me, it's like I wanted to know that and how I'll be able to apply it to not only help myself, my family, and then all the other people that I can help with to really for them to achieve the best results, to live their healthiest, best life.
Yes, I actually have had clients who are bodybuilders and they come in with the worst blood levels, like their cortisol and their cholesterol, and they're anemic and they're having so many issues and they look amazing.
Yeah. Outside.
Yeah, and then let's say it's an influencer. I've had these clients, influencer that sells training packages or wellness packages, and their health is just so bad. So it's like nutritionists are always fighting with bodybuilding influencers, but then we have influencer fitness celebrities like you that actually understand the importance. Is there any moment that you said, okay, I need to go into holistic nutrition, or did you just?
Yeah, I think when anytime I just had this conversation with my wife, where anytime there's not a one size fits all for everybody. So what works for one person may not necessarily work for the next. So you have to understand that there's differences in humans, the way our bodies process food, the way our bodies are, metabolisms and all that kind of thing. So when people kind of give you a definitive, you only have to do this way, or carnivore or keto is the only way to diet, like First thing I always say, no fad diet. Fad diets only work. Like you have to think, when you think nutrition, you have to think lifestyle. How could I do this for a long period of time, really the rest of my life? And I hate to say the word diet like it's a bad thing. Diet means just how you eat. Yeah. People think diet, I got to stop eating and then I just have to, try to starve myself to get in shape, and then it's just up and down. It's how do you, maintain a good, healthy, nutritional plan the rest of your life, enjoy the food you eat, and learn that the better you eat, the better you feel.
Okay, let's see if they now take it into consideration hearing from you, because I tell them that all of the time, and diet is just what you eat. When they say, don't go with her because she'll give you a diet, I'm like, well, you're already on a unhealthy diet.
Are you on the Chick-fil-A diet or are you on the...
Yeah, exactly. Él nos dice que él entró a esto de la medicina funcional, la nutrición holística, porque él vio que 70-80% de el estar, quiero decir una mala palabra, pero no la voy a decir, el estar fit conlleva el tener una muy buena nutrición. Entonces, tú puedes entrenar todo lo que quieras, pero si no tienes una buena nutrición, tú no vas a tener el físico que estás buscando o que quieres. Al él entender esto, habla de la bioindividualidad. I always call it bioindividuality. When I studied nutrition, that's what they told me. Everybody's different. La bioindividualidad es cada quien es diferente y a Pedrito no le va a funcionar lo que le funciona a Juanito. Y es el tener que ver qué es bueno para ti, tu genética también, a qué eres más sensible, qué alimentos te van a inflamar, qué alimentos no van a ser buenos. El brócoli puede ser bueno para mí, pero es malo para la otra persona. Entonces, a él le gusta en su práctica, en clínica, ver qué necesita la persona, hacer exámenes de sangre, ver la parte genética y en base a lo que tú necesitas, entonces trabajarlo y entrenarte para que tú puedas lograr los resultados que buscas. At the end of the day, we're going for results. Al final del día vamos por los resultados. And we need to do what we need to do in order to achieve those results. Many people sometimes find it hard when I tell them, and I'm sure you're going to be with me on this one, because I know a lot of nutritionists or even doctors will tell you, don't worry about it. You can eat one donut a day, and you can also have this frappuccino a day, and you're still going to lose weight, and you're still going to be healthy. And I say, no, we're going to cut out processed foods, ultra-processed foods, because I want you to heal. Because if you don't heal, then we're not going to see the best of you, the excellence of you. And I tell my clients, if you don't want to be the best version of yourself, and if you don't want to be healthy, then I am not the nutritionist for you. Are you the same way?
Yes. I demand, I give them, when I give my people a plan, there's variety of food. So it's not like it's just, a lot of people think, he's going to just give me chicken and broccoli. Yeah. Like that's all I eat. That's not the case. I give a variety of food, but it's the healthy choices that gives you some variety. So, and food doesn't have to be necessarily plain. You can spice it up. You can make it taste good. And you just have to learn to kind of reprogram a little bit, because we're so programmed to thinking, everything has to be deep fried and loaded with sugars and loaded with, all this processed stuff. And that's, you kind of have to rewire your brain a little bit. It's like people that, become addicted to a drug like alcohol or other drugs. It's your brain is addicted to it. The same thing, kind of food. It's dopamine. It gives you this feel-good feeling when you have this, but you have to learn to eat for function over like feel good. And when you treat food for function, like I'm going to use it for fuel. I need to fuel my body because my body's a machine. Like it's the way it allows me to do things, versus like I just need to eat to make me feel good. Now, not saying, every once in a while there's a birthday, there's a celebration, you can go and enjoy a dinner out or, have a piece of cake, whatever. There's some flexibility there's to have, but when, you want to stay consistent 80-90% of the time or more when you get the results, because when you see results, that's when people really get motivated. I mean, people that have a hard time motivation,
exactly.
The results come, then motivation will follow.
At least I tell them, just be 100% dedicated, at least through the process of change. And it's only 3 months, a year. It's fast and it's easy when you do it the right way. And then we'll go into maintenance phase where you have to stay consistent 80% of the time. Because if you go back to your old habits, you're going to turn into your old self. Let me translate what you just said. Él dice que es muy importante que seas consistente con tus hábitos para que puedas llegar a tener los resultados. Yo le decía que yo a mis pacientes, a mis clientes les digo, oye, no te voy a dejar comer tus donas y todo lo que te gusta porque quiero la mejor versión de ti, quiero que estés sano. Y es lo que él dice, la gente se motiva cuando ve resultados. Y para ver resultados tienes que ser consistente. Claro, si hay un cumpleaños, una fiesta, algún evento, pues ahí comer algo de forma moderada, pero si el 80-90% estás dedicado, es donde tú vas a ver los resultados. Que a mí me encanta porque así pienso yo, lo están viendo, o sea, ya no soy yo diciéndoles, lo están viendo físicamente cómo es. Y vamos a preguntarle él cómo come en un día normal, más o menos, cómo se cuida. How do you eat in a typical day?
So bodybuilding Steve would eat a lot of food. And it was a full-time job just eating the amount of food it takes to fuel my body. I would eat 6-7 meals a day and a significant amount of food each day. You know, lots and lots of protein, good amount of carbohydrates. You know, right amount of fats. That season is kind of done now. I'm looking, how do I be the healthiest, perform have the most energy, feel good. Understanding functional holistic medicine and the utilizing the different principles that can apply. So right now I eat 3 to 4 meals a day. I have every morning I do a breakfast smoothie with fruit and nutritional like a nutritional powder. I eat a very balanced lunch where I do like protein. I do lots of vegetables, some carbohydrates, and some healthy fats. So everything is balanced. Like it's not crazy too much one way. It's balanced amount of protein, balanced amount of carbohydrates, right amount of fat for what I need. Now, a good nutritionist like yourself, that somebody comes to, you're going to be able to give them and know what they want to get for their for the results. You're going to give them what they need and balance it all out for them. So like the bio-individuality, understanding what each person needs. But for me, I eat 3 to 4 meals a day now. I go for about a 12-hour fast at night from the time I eat, go to bed, by the time I eat breakfast, say 7 to 7 is my fast. And utilizing these principles have made my body much healthier. My digestion is much better. I sleep better. All these things start playing a role in your health, that are principles comes with food and eating and discipline. But you start getting better sleep, you're going to be healthier. You start having better digestion, your immune system's better. You all of a sudden you're much happier. Everything kind of affects everything.
Yeah. When you say you fast 12 hours, I do that too. Do you do it for a specific purpose or just to have healthy gut?
It's more like just general health. Like the more I understand and see the studies and the whys behind things, the 12 hours is kind of 12 to 14 hours is a magic number that they see is an adequate amount of time to allow your body to rest, digest its food, and then start repairing its body. And it's a great window to be able for your body to utilize body fat too. So the healthier you are and your blood sugar is able to be maintained through the night, your body's going to use fat for energy. And you could actually burn fat at night. And there's people that have literally not changed anything, just followed these principles, cleaned up, eat better, but sleep, their sleep has improved. And just by sleeping good and not eating so close to bed, they have lost a significant amount of weight just doing that.
I know that. I believe that. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've even seen it in my husband, that you've done a wonderful job with him, actually. Él nos dice que fisicoculturista Steve comía 6 a 7 comidas al día, llenas de proteínas, sus carbohidratos necesarios para crecer músculo, porque sí, necesitas carbohidratos para crecer músculo. They won't believe me when I tell them that you eat carbs.
Oh, yeah. It's essential.
They think lean people don't eat carbs. No, yeah. Y dice que ahora su enfoque es más la nutrición holística, el funcionar el cuerpo como tiene que funcionar. A él le gusta ayunar 12 horas durante la noche, deja de comer a las 7 de la noche, empieza a desayunar a las 7 de la mañana. Eso fue un ayuno de 12 horas, le preguntó para qué, y él dice que porque su digestión es mejor y mayor, tiene mayor cognitivo, o sea, puede pensar mejor, se siente mejor, tiene más energía, y dice, y una cosa va impactando a la otra y todo está conectado. What do you think about people who fast for 16 or 18 or even 24 hours. Or I know people that fast for 3 days, just water. What do you think about that?
I think there's a time and place. I think to do it all the time is going to start, you're going to have maybe some negative effects. Like it's too much. Too much of a good thing is not good. And you could drink too much water. You could have too much sleep. You could eat anything too much, anything too little. Like it's finding what works and what's a sweet spot. For me, there's some times I had put people on like a 24, maybe up to 72-hour fast, just maybe every once a year or once every quarter, depending on their health. But sometimes a 24-hour fast is okay. But the one thing that I caution people is, say if they're very high stress people, and what sometimes fasting for too long or consistently doing it too much can increase cortisol, increase more stress on the body. And that's not a good thing. So it's understanding each person, like where they're at in their life and what are they trying to accomplish. Are you trying to, increase your health, like decrease inflammation in your body, get some health benefits based on what fasting will do for you? Yes, fasting is a very great tool to use, but you have to use it properly, not just do it to do it. Like, why are you doing it is the question. And then, all right, let's do it with a plan to do it.
Yeah, not just like reading on the internet, fast 24 hours and then just do it. Él nos dice, porque yo le pregunto, ¿qué piensas de las personas que ayunan 24 horas, 72 horas, que a mí me parece excesivo? Él me dice, hay un tiempo y un lugar para hacerlo. Tal vez le pida a alguien que lo haga una vez al año y también dependiendo de su condición médica, no cualquiera puede hacerlo. Entonces él nos explica que todo lo que hagamos lo tenemos que hacer con mucho, mucho cuidado y saber llevarlo de la mano de un profesional, vaya. I wanted to ask you, if you were, let's say, a 30, 40-year-old male, you're a male, of course, but a 30, 40-year-old, I was just thinking of the person I was visualizing, and you have diabetes and high blood pressure, all this metabolic issues, and you're overweight, and you don't have energy, but still you are a construction worker or someone who's out there just working hard and you have a family and you're so busy and you want to change, what would the first step be, or how would you do it? What would you do?
Like, to get your health back, it's not to not overcomplicate things. Like, do a couple things at a time and start getting it better. Like, be consistent with saying, okay, I'm going to stop drinking sodas and stop eating fast food. Like a couple simple steps, not try to go too much at one time, because sometimes it creates like overwhelming feeling and then they don't do it because it seems too difficult. But keep it simple. Say, I'm going to cut out fast food. I'm going to cut out the sugar in my diet, and let's see, and you're going to see results. And then we said, when you see the results, then you're going to be like, okay, I want to do more. What could I do next? Then it's going to say, okay, and then I'm going to start exercising, maybe do it 3 days of exercising a week to try to get some benefits of additional calorie burn, build some muscle. And then maybe what's the next step? I make sure I'm sleeping good, cutting out the alcohol, doing things like that, where just do some simple steps and then they start compounding with the results. You start seeing more results. You're going to be more motivated, and then you're just going to feel better. When you feel better, because you don't need to be tired, you don't need to feel sluggish and like you have no sex drive and you have no energy for your family and all you do is work, and then it's just this cycle over and over. Once you start feeling better and having more energy, you're going to want to do more things. You're going to be more successful in all the areas of your life. So it does start, you have to take control and be responsible for yourself. You have to say, okay, I have to do this, because nobody's going to do it for you, like you said. You have to take control and say, I need to do this. I need to do this not only for me, but I need to do it for my family, people that love me, because the best gift you can give somebody is a healthy you.
Yes, that's a great first step, taking control and responsibility of your own body, your own self. Yo le pregunto, si fueras una persona con síndrome metabólico, presión alta, diabetes, falta de energía, sobrepeso, estás muy ocupado, trabajas en la construcción o tienes un día muy pesado, ¿cuál sería el primer paso? Y me dice, definitivamente algo ligero, algo que se sienta fácil, porque si son muchas cosas y lo complicamos mucho, lo vas a botar. Estoy totalmente de acuerdo. Empezar con tal vez dejar de tomar refresco o tal vez dejar de comer azúcar, una sola cosa. Y después que logres esa, viene la siguiente. Tal vez ahora voy a ir al gimnasio 3 veces por semana y todo se empieza a hacer un efecto como una bola de nieve que se va juntando. Y dice, y entonces te empiezan a dar ganas de ser mejor, de ser más exitoso, de hacer más en tu trabajo, de tener más ideas. A mí me pasó, le pasó a mi esposo, me parece maravilloso. Y qué tan importante es tomar control sobre ti. Entonces el primer paso sería responsabilizarte sobre ti, porque como dijimos, nadie va a venir a hacerlo por ti. Responsabilizarte, aceptarte, tomar el control y dar ese primer paso. So your body is your temple. I know that we share the same faith. And I like to talk about this to people because many of them share the same faith. How is it important for your body, for you to eat healthy and exercise and take care of your body when your body is your temple? How does that affect you as a family leader?
I kind of finished the last part we talked about. I think that best gift you can give your family or anybody that loves you is a healthy you, at the end of the day, because you're going to have more energy for them. You're going to be able to provide better for them. You're going to, and when we talk about faith, I think faith is a big component of life. Like it gives you a foundation to work off of. It gives you in hard times, like that God will provide or God will get you through this. And I believe that. But the one thing that the Bible always says, like faith without works is dead. So what that means to me is you have to have faithfulness. So it's putting your faith to work. Like even though God will get you through this and He's a foundation of your family, but like you have to do the work too. Like He's going to lay out the path. He's going to open the right doors. He's going to protect you along the way. But you have to put in the work and you have to take that step to do it. So for me, I always think of, again, how could I be the best me when I go through life? How could I provide the best for my family and give my family, like I've always wanted to give more than what I had growing up. And I had great parents, great family, but it's like I always strive for more, and because I want to, for my son to have a better future moving forward.
Yeah. In Mexico, we have a saying that goes like, whatever God wants, let it be whatever God wants. And so when we're sick or whatever's going on in our lives, instead of taking action, we will say, it'll be whatever. It will be God's will, God's will.
God's will.
And so I have clients that tell me that, okay, here's your meal plan. This is what you're going to do, supplements, da-da-da. And then they're like, I don't know if I'm going to do it. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm motivated, but God's will. And I'm like, no, you have to, God's will is you being here, is you having the meal plan you need. It's giving you all the resources you need to make it happen. But you have to make it happen. And then they blame it on God when it doesn't happen. So let me translate. Él dice, porque compartimos las mismas creencias en cuanto a fe, que mucha gente lo deja las cosas al aire, pero fe sin acción es morir. No hay un cambio y no puedes llegar al otro extremo o al éxito que estás buscando si tú no tomas acción. Entonces, una cosa es creer y una cosa es saber que Dios tiene buenos planes para ti, pero otra cosa es actuar. Entonces, van de la mano y yo le digo que en México tenemos esta frase que dice que sea lo que Dios quiera. Pues Dios quiere que te dé todas las herramientas como este episodio que estás viendo, pero quiere que tú te muevas y tomes acción y hagas lo que tengas que hacer. What are supplements you would recommend for just to start a health journey?
I always get this question a lot, and I like to keep things very simple. Like there's foundational things we all need. I believe the way food is made and farmed and grown today, it lacks a lot of the minerals and vitamins it had maybe 50 years ago. And because everything is looked at like business. So how do I create more of it faster and turn over food and the way crops are done and all that? So there's less minerals and vitamins in food than there used to be. So that means we're likely to be deficient in certain things. with people that don't have office jobs or desk jobs, they're not getting out in the sun a lot like they should. So there's certain things like vitamin D is going to be low. Vitamin D is one of the things that I do blood work for people, and I see probably 20 to 30 different blood panels a week from people that I review with them. And then I look at it and then I say, first thing I see, vitamin D levels low. Like unless you're not getting in the sun every day, maintaining a tan, likely your vitamin D levels low. So I usually recommend 3 to 5,000, sometimes maybe more, depending on the person. 5,000, I use a vitamin D a day. With people not having adequate nutrition in their diet or missing vitamins, minerals, like a good, like I use a nutritional powder. So it's like a protein powder with the nutritional vitamins, minerals in it to give my body the right B vitamins, the right, like vitamin C is in there. So it's a multivitamin, a good multivitamin, not kind of I always say, never buy your vitamins at the place you buy your toilet paper. That's a little rule. Like you want to buy the best brands because it's important that you're fueling your body. Don't be cheap with certain things. So that's one of them. I think if a lot of people have trouble digesting food, so sometimes I recommend like digestive enzymes to help with food, and because the better you can break down your food, the more nutrients you could pull out of the food. That's one of them. Most people are magnesium deficient, and to understand that, and if especially you're very high stressed or you're somebody that works in like real kind of on edge all the time and have like that, the nervous system that's real, like the sympathetic nervous system that's very the fight or flight they call it, which is like you're always amped up. That the magnesium helps kind of calm that down sometimes. So taking magnesium at night is a great addition for people. I sometimes do like a powder, or something you can do a magnesium pill.
Would that make my husband like a little more chill and happy? Give me 10.
It's stuff that's kind of a foundational thing, which I usually give a lot of my clients just to kind of start. And then when we do blood work or we go deep into it, then we could say, hey, you're deficient in these areas as well. These are some things you also need. So, but as a starting point, that's typically what I like to start with.
Sounds so good. Él dice que, bueno, todo lo que comemos en el día no tiene los nutrientes necesarios, cómo procesan hoy en día la comida, y necesitamos agregar suplementos. Él ve 20, 30 paneles de sangre por semana y casi siempre todos van a estar deficientes en vitamina D. Entonces, vitamina D es muy importante consumirla. Dice que si tienes problemas con la digestión, puedes tomar enzimas digestivas, y que el magnesio, para las personas que están muy estresadas, que tienen mucha tensión, le digo que si eso va a poner a mi esposo contento, relajado, dice que sí, le digo que me llevo 10, por favor, y dice que el magnesio nos ayuda a que estemos más tranquilos. Entonces hay diferentes tipos de magnesio, pero vuelve a lo mismo, hay que ver tú cómo eres, tú qué necesitas para entonces darte lo que tu cuerpo realmente necesita. So, ahora le voy a preguntar, ¿cuáles son los errores más comunes a la hora de querer cambiar? What are the biggest or most common mistakes that people make when they're trying to go the healthy route?
To do too much at once, like to try to change your lifestyle from like one extreme to the other extreme, then it creates excuses, and people then say, well, it's too hard, or I don't have the time, or that's why I say do baby steps with things. Like try cutting out a few bad habits like alcohol and bad food or sugary sodas or energy drink, like that kind of stuff. Doing some simple things to take the steps one way, not go from one extreme to the next is a common mistake, because then sometimes people get discouraged if they're not getting the results, or they can't do it because of time, or they're not used to it yet, or it seems too hard. So you try to limit excuses by doing, small things first. Like instead of, if somebody's not working out at all and they come to me and they say, well, I want to start working out and I want to get in shape. They're not going to do my training program, what I do for myself. I'm going to start them very, very basic. And that way it gives them an opportunity to kind of build up and get used to it. And then we can start making it harder and harder and harder. When I start working with your husband, we not that I didn't go easy on him, but we started a little bit more foundational. Now, as we're getting into the months of working together, he's getting stronger, having more endurance, and so guess what? I'm adding more weight. I'm making him do more sets. There's things that I'm building on that now, but Start with very simple, and then you start adding it up. Build the foundation before you start going too much.
And I've seen many changes in Juan. The other day I was grabbing his arm, and then I noticed there was like a ball here, or I don't even know how to call it. And I'm like, what's that? It's so cool.
He did mention that you gave him a compliment on his butt. So
Oh, I was about to say that. He used to have like a very long back, right? No butt. And then I just looked at him and I saw a butt.
He
and
said
I'm like,
you're laughing. And he's like, what are you laughing at?
I don't know. It was just, I don't know. It was weird because I've never seen him like, he was, I don't know if he told you, he was super overweight, like 350 pounds, I think, or even more. I'm not sure. But he had no shape. Like, let's be honest. And I loved him. Like, I loved my fluffy hubby. And I never told him to lose weight. Like, whatever you want to be, I love you however you want to be. And he lost the weight. And then I saw the butt, and I was laughing because I couldn't believe, like, I just picture like a monkey with, the little butts. It was so funny. And he was like, why are you laughing? What are you laughing at? No, but it's great. I mean, I joke and all that, but he looks amazing. So thank you so much. And every time he comes home, he's like, I almost died. I almost passed out, but I did it.
But like you said, he got out of his comfort zone.
Every time.
And he sees the results.
Because you push him and you make him do what he would not do on his own because he doesn't think he's capable of. Because his body, he's used to working out at a certain limit, and you're pushing his limits. And I think that's why it's so important to work out with a trainer, but not just any trainer. That's why he chose you, because any trainer can hurt you. Any trainer can make you do things that he can, but you're not sure if he can. So thank you for that. What were we talking about? I didn't even translate. I got nervous talking about my husband.
That's right.
We were talking about the biggest mistakes. So let me translate that. El error más grande es querer hacer todo a la vez. Si empiezas a comer mucho y empiezas a ir al gimnasio y empiezas a hacer todo de un jalón, vas a encontrar excusas de por qué no estás haciendo las cosas. Porque es demasiado para ti. Entonces dice él, empieza pequeño. Dice, cuando yo tengo clientes, yo no los entreno como yo no les doy mi rutina. Yo les doy lo que ellos necesitan para empezar a poder entrenar bien. Y me dice, cuando tu esposo empezó, empezamos con una cimientos, digamos, porque en inglés le dicen foundation, pero son los cimientos, las bases de cómo empezar. Dice, poco a poco lo voy empujando. Y me dice que el otro día que le contó que el otro día yo me estaba riendo porque le salió pompi. Entonces él tiene pompitas y le digo, es que lo vi como un changuito de esos que tienen las pelotitas así, porque las tiene redondas, perfectas. Y le digo, sí, porque yo estoy acostumbrada a ver mi monigote de 350 libras. O sea, y le digo, yo lo amo como sea y como él quiera, yo nunca lo voy a obligar a nada. Pero ya bajó 80 libras y con esas 80 libras entrenando, bueno, le está saliendo bolas por aquí, por allá, puro cuerpazo. Entonces estoy muy, muy, muy contenta por él. Por eso nos estábamos riendo. So, what else would you like to add to this episode? Is there anything else I'm missing?
I think we definitely talked a lot about the nutrition component of, how important nutrition is, foundational things with supplements and exercise, and not trying to get too complicated. But I always encourage people too, like, even the best in the world has coaches. And if you don't know what you're doing and don't always trust some random TikTok video you saw about something online, find somebody that's very credible, that knows what they're doing, and hire them or work with them to help you achieve your goal. It will cut out a lot of time and guesswork in order to achieve that goal. If you want to clean up your diet, eat a better diet, find a good nutritionist. You want to lose weight, find a weight loss clinic you trust, or find a trainer. So there's a lot of people out there that are experts and know what they're doing. And I encourage people to reach out, talk to them, hire them, because they're going to help you achieve results much faster and less time to get there. And ultimately it will, even though it costs some money, it ends up saving you money in the long run, because you're not guessing. You're not guessing of what supplement should I take, or what what exercise should I do? You're going to get the results faster. You're going to be more motivated. You're going to have accountability, and ultimately you're going to get the results.
I love that advice. Él nos habla de que hasta los mejores en el mundo tienen un coach. Y esto me encanta porque hay personas que dicen, yo puedo solo, yo me los arreglo, sí. Pero cuando tienes un coach, tú no tienes dudas. Tú no estás pensando cómo hacer las cosas. Tú sabes que lo que te dan funciona y hasta, miren, uno es normal y dice, ay no, yo no necesito un nutriólogo, pero hasta los artistas tienen nutriólogos. Entonces, encuentra a un coach que te esté diciendo bien cómo hacer las cosas. Encuentra profesionales, que no solo te vayas y veas videos en TikTok o cosas así, y que priorices tu nutrición, que es lo más importante. And I do want to ask you something else, actually. Everything that you say is so wonderful and so perfect, and people see you and look at you, and, you know, like we said, you can't buy this. So you look like a disciplined person and a consistent person. And so people will often think, well, he's got something I don't got, or he's perfect, or he's something. Is there ever been any struggles in your journey? What kind of struggles?
Oh, big time. Life always has struggles. Like, I don't come from a rich family that it was just given to me. Like, I've always worked for everything I have, and it's a very simple, and I know a lot of people watching this probably work very hard, but hard work works. It's a simple saying, but in life, like it's not always about working the hardest. Sometimes you got to be smart about the way you do things. For me, no, I'm not perfect, and there's times I failed and I didn't win the show, like we talked about. Like I placed second, or I placed, you know, out of the top placings, or for the competition part, or, you know, there's sometimes you say the wrong thing to your spouse, or you're a friend or a client, you don't mean to, you know, emotions. Like, we're human, we make mistakes, and the thing is kind of owning that, you know, not letting pride or ego get in the way of letting you be able to grow through something. Like, if you screw up, forgive yourself or forgive that person. And you know what? Forgiveness is a great tool for life. You know, forgiveness is not just for that person, but it's also for yourself. Sometimes if you have a bad day, you screw up with a meal, or you say something to a loved one you don't mean, you got to just ultimately say, you know what, I'm sorry, you know, and hopefully they forgive you, but if not, that's on them. And then you just ultimately have forgiveness with yourself. Like, you know what, all right, that wasn't the right choice, that wasn't the right decision or thing to say, and I have to forgive myself, and I have to, you know, be better next time. And holding yourself accountable does create a better version of yourself. Like, I always, if I do something that I don't agree with, I kind of know with it, my spirit talks to me right away, like, that wasn't the best decision, or that wasn't the best thing to say. And, you know, when that you get that feeling in your stomach, you're like, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said that. You know, your gut feeling. And women have that a little bit more than guys, but sometimes guys, you know, put the ego and pride down and just say, you know what, I'm sorry, or I didn't mean to do that, and hopefully that, you know, that person understands, and you just be better next time. And it's not about being perfect, but I believe it's about just continually try to be better.
Yeah, getting up each time you have a bad meal or you fall off track.
Yeah,
or
like don't let one meal lead to a whole day, lead to a whole week of bad meals.
A whole life.
Like you have you're starving. You get home, there's no food, and you eat something that's maybe not the best. Okay,
typical.
The next meal, we're gonna eat better. We're gonna get back on track, but don't let just a little bit off track not allow you to get back on track.
Yes, I love that advice as well. Él nos dice que la vida está llena de problemas y siempre es un problema con la familia, o que si no ganó algún premio en alguna competencia, o que si quedó fuera. Entonces, él ha tenido que ir vivir esos problemas, porque yo le digo, las personas que te ven han de pensar que eres perfecto, que nunca te pasa nada. Y dice, no, claro que me pasa y claro que batallo, pero yo me levanto y sigo tratando de manejar mi vida. Y dice, el perdonar y el perdón es lo más importante. Perdonarte a ti por no haber hecho lo que tenías que hacer, por hacerlo mal, por no comer bien, perdonar a los demás, y también el saber pedir perdón a los demás. En esto elaboró un poquito más, me imagino que es algo muy importante para él. Y luego dice, y levantarte cada vez. O sea, si tú comes mal, porque estás ocupado, llegas tardísimo de la casa a la casa del trabajo y comes algo terrible. Y eso se convierte en que mañana también voy a comer mal. Y eso se convierte en una semana de comer mal y en un mes de comer mal. Y le digo yo, en una vida de comer mal. Y dice, sí. Y ahí salió un poquito el coach y dijo, no permitas que una mala comida te tumbe. Levántate y sigue adelante. I said, I just heard Coach Steve, like, don't let that bad meal, like I got that coach vibe from you. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing this information. Most of the things you've said is the things that I believe in. So we're very aligned the way we think. And sometimes if a blonde girl comes and tells them, they're just like, oh, whatever. But now we have you, like your physique is an authority. Your awards are part of that authority. So I love that, yes, you are a bodybuilder, but you're also into functional medicine and holistic nutrition, because I think that if we integrate both, you'll achieve the best version of yourself. Do you believe today you are the best version of yourself?
I do. You know, and I can look at pictures of me on stage and see like looks like a sculpture, you know, so very hard, big, strong, you know, muscle and all that. And I still carry that, but maybe not as big or not as defined or whatever. But to me, I know the person I am on the inside too is grown and is better today than I was 10 years ago, than I was 5 years ago. And I think, you know, we have external growth, but we also have to grow internally too, emotionally, spiritually. We have these things that we mature in life, go through things to grow through things. And I'm one that I always, in life, I always want to continue to learn. I want to learn to be better. I just don't want to kind of go through life and think I know it all and then, you know, let everybody pass me because I was too stubborn. I always want to say, you know what, I want to, if somebody knows more than me in some area, I want to learn about that. I want to talk to that person. I want to engage with that person. I want to ask questions. But that allows me to grow, you know, always be a student of life. And it allows me to become better because, you know, I just don't want to help myself. I want to be able to help other people too.
Yeah. Él dice que él cree que está en la mejor versión de sí mismo, que puede ver fotos de competencias y dice, ¿sabes qué? Cuando estaba acá tal vez me veía mejor, pero con el tiempo he entendido que yo tengo que crecer mental, espiritual, emocionalmente y he crecido muchísimo internamente y eso me ha ayudado a salir adelante y a estar mejor. Dice que la vida es un proceso continuo, es un viaje continuo, que nunca llegas a un éxito, que tienes que continuar y que no hay que tener soberbia, hay que aprender a conocer. Thank you so much for being here. We are honored. Our whole team is honored that you gave us your time. I'm sure a lot of people at home are learning. And if you're not watching this on a video, go to YouTube, please. You need to watch this man because he looks what he's talking about. and that plays a huge role. Thank you so much. I love that you want to serve people, and that's why you're here. So hopefully we have you again speaking
Absolutely.
about more body fitness, bodybuilding. But thank you again, and I hope and I wish that your career keeps flourishing and growing and being every day more successful.
Likewise. Thank you. I love what you're doing, and it's an honor to be a part of this, and I look forward to being back.
Of course, thank you. Bueno, mis amores, gracias por estar aquí. Nos vemos en el próximo episodio del Mal del Puerco. No olvides suscribirte, darle like a la campanita y cada miércoles tenemos episodio nuevo. Te mando un abrazo grandísimo y un beso con todo mi cariño. El Mal del Puerco podcast ha sido traído a ti por la clínica de nutrición Skinny Secret. Ve a nuestras redes sociales y mira los miles de testimonios que han logrado transformar su vida. @SkinnySecretUSA o www.skinnysecretusa.com.